6,100, 75 pounds, the Freedom Express 279 rear living here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan in the beautiful upgraded Liberty Edition series, or as our Canadian clients would call it, Maple Leaf. We've got Asdel in the walls, wide stance axles, enclosed heated belly, full power stabilization, and an extra tall interior with an extra long bed that makes camping for taller folks like me a lot more enjoyable. With the slide out closed, whether you're traveling or it's at home in storage, if you need to get in or out of it, this one has, I would say, fair accessibility. Like you can get to the storage, in the slide below the dinette. This big extra storage compartment that you see over here. You see with the slide flange is closed. We do basically lose access to the kitchen drawers, but we can get to the cabinetry here in the kitchen, as well as the refrigerator. So if you need to stop, wash your hands, grab a quick bite to eat, you can do that here. If you're looking for full bedroom access, you will need to bump the slide open to get you there. So right away when people step inside a Freedom Express, they go, ooh, I don't know what it is. I just feel like it's, more open. And what they're keying into, you don't always consciously recognize the fact, but you do subconsciously feel it. These are a lightweight trailer with a tall interior, and I think that's one of the most coolest signature calling card aspects of the Freedom Express series, is they have a 3-inch taller, 6'9" interior height, so they have a taller ceiling, taller cabinets, taller shower, and a longer 80-inch bed that makes these things light, but very big person friendly. And as a big person, I like that. We usually bring this in Liberty Edition. You can get this in a non-Liberty Freedom Express, but this is one of those floor plans I can't see never not having it in Liberty Edition, and here's why. Liberty Edition opens up the option of improved seating, because remember the one that we're looking at here in this video could be different from the one that's in stock. But a Liberty Edition allows us, instead of just a standard like rear jackknife sofa or something like that, we can upgrade to this big, beautiful, plush, dual theater reclining seat right here. And it gives you that like couples lounging experience, but if you notice, you actually still maintain the ability to use this for sleeping. And that's one of the cool parts about this floor plan right here, is that you get both of the reclining theater seat things available for sleeping, but also the U-dinette over here as well. So the U-dinette, it can only be and do everything. By the way, this is the longer 84-inch, 7-foot U-dinette. So this is a much bigger sleeping space when you do fold it down. Now the table's free floating, as you see. You can easily move this table around anywhere you want. This could be like a functional island for the kitchen. You could fold it down and use it like a coffee table or a dining table in front of the rear theater seating here if it's like movie night or an entertainment afternoon. Now, something I've always felt is that every RV is the best in a different way. And as a whole, I think Coachmen RV does one of the best jobs of giving you the maximum potential storage capacity of anything I've ever seen, including handy little stuff like this. Like you can see that these rear little panels here, they actually slide out of the way for full access to that rear dinette, so you don't have to rip apart the whole seating to get there. Now in the Liberty Edition, we do get the full extension drawers here on the dinette. In the standard Freedom Express Ultralite, it'll just be a bench and door, but it still has those easy access points down there. Now even these little side stands right here, as well as everything overhead, you can see that they never waste an opportunity to open up something to give you maximum capacity in here. Everywhere you look, you can pack this thing like crazy and then close all the cabinet doors and never notice a thing. And one of the things I like here is that little shoe garage right by the entry door of the 279. That's pretty slick. Now you'll notice we have plywood box drawers all the way through the kitchen, all the way down to the floor. Maximum drawer capacity in here, and they're beveled on top so they're not going to give you splinters. And of course they have one of my favorite things, the Freedom Express utensil drawer. It's not a clever name by any stretch, but it's a clever thing because it wraps around the sink to give you the best utensil space you've ever seen in an RV. Another thing I think is easily missed in the kitchen of this one, I guess maybe kind of call it storage space, is you see how there's this sort of like overhang right here. To me, that's the perfect place to put a wastebasket. It's very organic and residential feeling to me in that regard. And with a 6'9" interior height, you're actually also going to enjoy the benefit of taller cabinets in your overhead areas. So diving in a little bit further, One of the other things I really like about these is that, like here in the Liberty Edition, we get solid surface kitchen counters, and that's really nice. It's got that good feel quality to it. But everything else, it's still superior, not a T-molded. More and more and more camper brands are actually starting to copy into this, and that is the thermal foil table and countertops throughout. So every top in this, whether it's these, whether it's those, whether it's in the bathroom, they're all going to be a sealed edge and pressed membrane item. So let's say you have like an iced tea sitting over here, and it gets a little warm in the sunshine and it sweats. Well, it's not going to soak into that material like, by drizzling over the side. You still want to wipe it up, obviously, but it's not going to hurt it by any stretch. Cool things they do in this, if you notice, all windows, including these recliner side windows and the dinette side windows, all open for ventilation. So any windows here in your living area open up for ventilation. Now these don't open, these are here for like visibility's sake, but if you notice, guys, there's a wall next to them. There's no cross breeze potential, so that's why these windows don't open right here. They open whenever there's a cross breeze potential. In the Liberty Edition, it will upgrade you to, if I can get my fingers on it, a blackout roller shade like a luxury fifth wheel. And I do mean blackout. If you want to blot the sun out, you can. And you notice it doesn't go snap and make a big old loud noise or anything like that if you bump it. So it's just a nicer, more pleasant experience sort of item. So again, there's different furniture arrangements here, but I feel like this floor plan is best when you do have that nice couples reclining area, because at the end of the day, this is a couples coach. And to me, this layout makes more sense than the campers that have two recliners in the back with another sofa and a dinette in the slide over here. Because why do I need 3 seating areas for 2 people? And especially when the fact that this can still fold down to sleep 6 in a couples camper. To me, this has all the benefits of those rear recliner models, but none of the drawbacks. And some of the drawbacks of those rear recliner models are the fact that if I come back here and I sit down in this chair, most of the time the rear recliner models, the TV is a football field away. And I don't know about you, but my eyesight does not seem to be improving with age, and I've yet to meet someone whose eyesight is improving with age without surgical medical benefit, obviously. So, being right here next to the entertainment center, which can easily pivot around for easy viewing, by the way, is a very handy feature. Now, neat little things like you'll notice there's little LED accent lights under the bench ends. You'll also find little matching LED accent lights up here. Those share a switch, so you've got a neat little accent and or night light. And then your stovetop, at the time of this filming, stoves seem to kind of be one of those things that phase in and out through the years. Current generation, though, is this recessed glass top here with that LED backlit handle. So again, if we are sleeping the grandkids and guests, if you got little grandkiddos that are a little afraid of the dark at night, you're good to go there. So electric space heating fireplace is part of the Liberty Edition. That's another one of those things that the standard Freedom Express Ultralite cannot offer. It's a remote-controlled electric space heater, and it is awesome. I also really enjoy the fact, as a person who has way too many USB-powered devices nowadays, that I've got the perfect, awesome charging station here for my entire family's complement of way too many things down here. But notice that the TV doesn't occupy one of those power outlets. This is just a wide open charge station, or if you want to add like a Blu-ray player or satellite or whatever, you're good to go. It is simple, easy, and convenient in that regard. Liberty Edition gives us the 8 cubic foot fridge freezer that we're looking at right here, so a 33% bigger fridge in the Liberty Edition. Now, one of the things we like to do on these here at Haylett RV, and this is going to be how we normally build them, every now and then one might snake through, like if we sell out of these due to their popularity, sometimes we'll call a coach and be like, we need whatever you can get as soon as you can get it. So this one that we're looking at has the larger 15,000 BTU air. That's how we like to build these here at Haylett RV, especially for because we do so much business across the country. Our southern and our western customers really need, not just want, but need that extra cooling performance. Liberty Edition, like I already mentioned, will give us the solid surface countertops, and once again, to me, that's just the perfect spot for a wastebasket. Now, this is a pull-out sprayer style faucet when they're brand new like this, and I'm not left-handed. I always struggle to get them out. But once you pop it in or out a couple times, works like a charm. We've got our, get out of there, Stonecast farm sink right here. That's what they call these big one basin sinks. And Stonecast is a superior upgrade over like a common plastic sink. A lot of people still prefer that over stainless. It's kind of 50-50 if people like stainless or Stonecast better. Stonecast can't rust because it's not metal, and it's rated for up to 500 degrees. That's pretty aggressive. I do like this newer backsplash they have back here. This is a real tile backsplash as well. That's not just a wallpaper. Now, between the recessed sink and stove, you've got some really sweet countertop prep space here. And a rear living room model, and rear living rooms are not traditionally known for awesome, awesome prep space. Something else that they do here is what you don't see, and that is the heat ducting. And they do not do floor ducted heating through a Freedom Express. They use cabinet ducted heating so that you maintain easy cleaning throughout your living area right here. You don't have heat vents where dirt, debris, and Skittles and cupcakes and crumbs and everything else can dribble in there. Bathroom in this model is awesome because you are getting this awesome big monster fifth wheel shower with a corner seating area here in a very likely half-ton towable couples camper. Now, every truck's capacities can vary. If you don't know what your truck can handle, or if you want to double check, you give us a call here at Halitz and we'll make sure you're safe and sound. And it's handy, just that little extra towel rack right there, just little detail things like that are handy. So, porcelain foot flush stool, and I've already mentioned it a couple times, but I do want to circle back to the fact that this does have an extra tall shower, so that a big person like me can fit in here. I've got I've got stuff on the camera lens. You're probably not supposed to touch the lenses. Probably, I don't know, oils or something on your fingers. I don't know. I'm not a trained cameraman. They're just like, here, go do videos one day. I'm like, okay. But hey, it's working out. So my point here again is lots of headroom. I don't have to have my head in the bubble up here. And again, storage, something that Coachmen does very well. I love that this is open down here so that if you do want to have extra toilet paper or anything like that, you've got lots of room for extra toiletries, towels, all that stuff right here. And remember, this is that sealed edge style countertop stuff with GFI protected outlet, which means hypothetically, let's say that you got a sink full of water and you've got a blow dryer going and you drop it in there. You're not going to electrocute yourself and burn the camper down. That's the good news. Bad news is you probably just still broke something. Anyway, sliding pocket privacy door for the master bedroom. And remember, this is the longer 80-inch queen bed. So this is a residential size queen that you can still walk around. You don't have to, like, if you go to a bigger queen, you lose the ability to walk around it. No, the Freedom Express, bigger beds across the board. Big cross-breeze windows across the board. In the bedroom area, we've got our side stands with residential outlets. You'll also find USB plugs against the base over there. You can see we have full-length hanging closets as well, so that you don't have that sharp corner where you can roll over and gouge your arm into it. And they're also still including a full overhead cabinet. Now notice, we've got front cabin speakers right here, but thankfully, you can kind of adjust whether you're, blasting music inside or outside or whatever, so you're not going to blow somebody away. Now, a couple really easy to miss detail things here is the, first of all, these dual element reading lamps right here. So, if you hold the light, you get a nice bright white light. But if you just tap it, you get a blue reading lamp. Again, hold it and blam. But you've got this recessed headboard up here. And it's a neat place to set phones, but I don't know, seems like it should do more. Well, it does. They've got USB chargers up here and a handy little reading light up here as well. So they've just pressed and combed every square inch of this thing. And the headboard that we're looking at is actually part of the Liberty Edition because they can hide that and recess that into the nose cap. So just to drive it home one more time, this is not necessarily the $279 that you'll find every single place. We do like to bring ours in Liberty so that we can put the nicer furniture packages into it. And the dead giveaway, guys, is the nose cap. When you see the full nose cap like this, that is a full Freedom Express Liberty Edition. When you see the 3/4 cap, like this one over here, that's a Freedom Express Ultralite. You can get this one floor plan both ways, but if you see the full nose cap, you know it's the one with all the extra widgets, whiz-bangs, upgrades, and fun stuff to it, okay? So they've got about the biggest power awning on this thing they really could put on it, because if you notice, if it was any longer, it would run off the front of the trailer, or it would cover up the window in the back. So they put about, the most patio space they could on here. And it's not that I dislike like the big double triple slide campers with the big slide on the door side here, but they can sometimes eat into your patio space. Not the case here. We'll come back to patio as we go. On the way through the baggage compartment, we got our simple solar prep plug right there. Liberty Edition is going to give us not just the magnet catches, but also the slam latches that a lot of folks like, because it is just a little bit simpler and easier to operate with one hand. Now when we get down here, you see the all aluminum skeleton that you're going to find throughout most of the Freedom Express series right here. Something that we're not seeing right now, because I always forget to turn the battery on outside on a Freedom Express, because they're one of the only ones that do this, is just like you have an LED light running under the awning, where the aluminum frame meets the front wall, there's also a full-length LED light strip there, so you can see this huge baggage compartment. And notice that you've got big access baggage door right here to get like big folding tables and lawn chairs and all that fun stuff in there. Now we do have an enclosed heated belly, so you are going to be good for that like extended season use. Another thing the Liberty Edition added at the later half of last season is automatic stabilization. So at a glance it looks like a power tongue jack, but I popped this one open here so you can see you can actually control all your jacks right from up front here, and you can basically just, you know, push a button and control all of them from up front to make sure you've got all your jacks in the place that you want them. You may also notice that the spare tire is mounted under the tongue and propane box area. They do that at a lot of Coachmen brands, but both of their lightweight trailers as much as they can, because it leaves the rear bumper open. A lot of people like to add bike racks. I do recommend, if you're going to do that, try not to go more than a 2-bike rack. You know, these bumpers aren't rated for like having a big heavy 4-bike rack on the back there. It's just not what they're built for, guys. If you want to do that, you might need to do some extra reinforcing, or what I've actually recommended a lot of folks do is do 2 on the back and do 2 on the front. They now have those tongue-mounted bike racks where you can mount 2 of those there. So a 2 and a 2 method, I think, also helps for load equalization, which is the other reason they put the spare tire down here, because it helps balance the trailer out better when you're towing. Weight in front tows better than weight in the back. As we're passing through, I want to take a minute to show you that all the windows are tinted. It gives you extra privacy, and it knocks down the UV ratings, basically, so that, well, the UV radiation that gets into the camper, so it makes the camper cooler is what I'm getting at. It also slows furniture fade as a result. A couple neat things they do here on the slide, but you got to get close to see them. First of all, you can see the texture on the slide wall. That is helping grab this slide seal right here to make sure you have a good seal. The other thing they do, if I get real close, is if you look right next to my finger, you can actually see how there's like a T-bladed edge on this. These slide seals right here that they use at Freedom Express, that extra wing out grab on that seal does an extra good job of grabbing these seals. Again, with the idea of preventing water penetration. And all of the hookups being located right here, to me, is just a really smart, so like all of your cable and city water hookups and all that, having all of that in one spot right next to the park post, to me, makes so much sense. And that's another thing they're very good about doing in the Freedom Express line. It is a brand that I have a lot of personal respect for, because little things like that, this is not necessarily built the easiest way. It's built the way that's a little bit, it's like the way that things are located and laid out. They're in better positions for an individual customer and end user. Now, things like I talked about earlier, the bigger air conditioner and the roof ladder, those are always optional pieces of equipment, even on a Liberty Edition unit that we're looking at. But again, you will find that that is how we do prefer them here at Haylett RV, because really, based on customer feedback, folks said, we want more powerful air, we want easier access to the roof. The Freedom Expresses have always had walk-on roofs. They've always been prepped for a rear ladder. It's just something that a lot of folks really started saying they really want on them. So we said, absolutely, we'll make it happen. You know why? Because when you do it at the factory level, guys, the upfront price tag on the camper, it might be a couple $100 higher between the two things that I just mentioned. But if you would have had the ladder done aftermarket, it's going to be, the ladder aftermarket alone will cost more than adding the ladder and the bigger air from the factory. And trying to upgrade that air conditioner aftermarket, forget it. Forget it. You're well over $1,000, probably closer to 12, 13, frankly, by the time labor is invested in it. Liberty Edition also gives us the the better aluminum tread entry steps right here. They are not as slippery when they're wet, no corrosion, lighter weight. They're also easier to see at night, and they just look good. Bigger entry handle is also a handy thing here. We're going to talk about Azdel in just a second, but I want to point out 2 extra things right here. TV hookups underneath this huge patio awning, and wide stance stability axles. The axles are set 14 inches further apart. Earlier I called this a half-ton towable RV, because it most certainly is. There's always someone who says, you should quit spreading lies. You should do more learning on what half-ton towability can actually comprise, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, my point is, for a shorter wheelbase vehicle, because this is starting to creep into the lighter weight areas, you know, at only 6,100 or whatever pounds, a big tow package SUV might be able to haul this thing from a weight capacity standpoint. But a short wheelbase SUV, you're going to get shoved all over the road. That tight turning radius is working against you when you're towing. So that's why these have wide stance axles, because it helps you cheat the wheelbase and it helps this thing stay flatter and less wiggle going down the road. That's why those are here, and they do an awesome job of it. Now, Asdel, what is it? A lot of folks still haven't heard about it. A lot of folks have. They don't necessarily know what it means. They just know that it seems like it's something that maybe I want to learn about. You can see it right here in the door jamb. It's the white stuff below the fiberglass skin. It is a resin. It is 80% roughly like melted pop bottles. It's a recycled material. But because it's a resin and not a wood, it is waterproof. The material cannot rot, mold, mildew. It makes the walls basically water repellent instead of water absorbent. And it also helps with a little bit of sound dampening. And all that's nice. But guys, it's also about half the weight of an equivalent amount of wood. So it helps. That's the reason that these things can be extra tall inside, and this can be a little bit longer than a similar layout floor plan out there, but not heavier, because they're not building thinner, crappy structures. They're building with better materials here. But what's interesting is that Freedom Express continues to be among our most price-aggressive lightweight lines here at Haylett RV. And if you do some quick looking around, you're going to see that we've got quite a few other brands of trailers here and quite a few other lightweight brands of trailers. And these guys are absolutely aggressively in the money, in the most competitive segment of the market, and they are growing by leaps and bounds right now. I think as soon as they went to that lighter colored interior decor that we just saw, these folks just absolutely caught on fire, because they've already had one of the best thought out, most well-executed equipment packages available in this RV segment. They just didn't have the look. And as soon as they put that finish on that package together, everybody just caught on and they took right off. So if that sounds good to you, if you'd like to learn a little bit more about it, if you like what you see here, but you'd like a little different furniture or equipment package, whatever it is, we got it. We can do it here at Haylett RV. Give us a call, 800-256-5196. We do hitching, pieces, parts, trades, financing, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, but we don't do hidden dealer fees. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.